Imagine walking through your house, checking an old coin collection tucked away in a dusty drawer, only to stumble upon a treasure worth nearly $2 million. It sounds like a dream, right? But for some, this isn't a dream, it's their reality. What if I told you that one of those pennies, the 1951 no-mint Mark Lincoln Wheat penny, could change your life forever? Stick around, because in just a few minutes, I'm going to show you how this humble coin could be your ticket to a wealthier, more fulfilling lifestyle. Let's take a trip back to 1951. The world was a very different place. But one thing stayed the same: pennies were still circulating, just like they are today. Now, most of those pennies were stamped with a mint mark. However, in 1951, something extraordinary happened. Amidst the usual coins rolling off the production line, a small number of Lincoln Wheat pennies were released without a mint mark. This tiny, often overlooked detail would change everything. To most people, a 1951 penny is, well, just a penny. They might be tossed aside, thrown in jars, or sold at a fraction of their actual value. But for savvy collectors and investors, these pennies are a goldmine. In fact, some of these coins have sold for nearly $2 million at auction. But here's the kicker: there's a catch. Finding one of these rare pennies is almost like finding a needle in a haystack. So, how do you know if you've got one? Well, hold tight, because we're going to dive deeper into this incredible story, and I'll reveal exactly how to tell if you're holding onto a $1 million coin. Now, you might be thinking, but what makes this 1951 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny so special? It's not just the rarity, it's also the story behind it. You see, the mint mark was meant to indicate where a coin was produced. If the coin was minted in Philadelphia, it was supposed to have no mint mark at all. But the 1951 no-mint Mark Wheat penny is different. Very few of these coins exist today. Experts believe that around 10,000 of these mistake pennies were struck, but most of them were lost over time. And here's where the drama kicks in: very few people know they have one. And even fewer know how much it could be worth. You could be sitting on a small fortune and not even realize it. Just last year, one of these rare 1951 pennies sold for a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.9 million for a single penny. And don't think it's just a fluke. Similar coins have been sold for thousands, tens of thousands, even over $100,000. But here's the scary part: without the right knowledge, your coin could be lost in the shuffle. How many people have tossed their 1951 pennies into their junk pile? How many have made the mistake of thinking they're worthless? That's exactly why you need to act fast, before it's too late. By now, you're probably wondering, how do I know if I have a 1951 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny in my possession? It's easier than you think, but you need to be careful. The difference is subtle but significant. First, look for the year, 1951. Then, carefully examine the coin's reverse side. If there's no mint mark under the word Liberty, you could be holding a rare find. Now, let's talk about condition. If your penny is in good shape, the value could skyrocket even further. A coin in mint condition is worth far more than one with wear and tear. Keep that in mind before you start shopping around. And don't just rely on online resources. Get a professional opinion. The right grading expert can tell you if you've got a true gem. And let me tell you something, this isn't the time to wait. The market for rare coins is booming. Every day, new collectors, investors, and dealers are on the hunt for pennies like yours. If you don't act quickly, someone else might swoop in and claim your windfall. But here's the problem: there's no guarantee these coins will stay on the market forever. What if the next big auction sees your coins selling for even more than the last? The right buyer could come along at any time, and your 1951 no-mint Mark penny could become your ticket to a new life. Imagine a life where you don't have to worry about bills, where you can take that dream vacation, or finally upgrade your lifestyle to the level you've always wanted. A small coin, like the 1951 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, could be the catalyst that makes it all happen. Now, I don't want to leave you hanging, but the truth is, your window of opportunity is closing. The coin market is evolving quickly, and the prices for rare pennies could rise even higher. So, the question is, what will you do with the knowledge you've gained today? Will you sit back and wonder what if, or will you take action and turn your penny into millions? I'll leave you with that thought. But before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more priceless tips and secrets about the coin world. Because who knows? The next treasure you uncover could be yours. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a penny, and discovering it's worth a staggering $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, the same one you might just hand over for your morning coffee, could actually be the key to unlocking a whole new lifestyle. But here's the catch. Not every 1970 Lincoln cent is worth millions. Only a select few hold this extraordinary value, and today, we're going to explore exactly how to identify the true hidden treasures among them. Now, before you start digging through that old jar of pennies, let's make sure you know what to look for. Otherwise, you could be overlooking a fortune hiding in plain sight. For many, the dream of finding a rare and valuable coin is a fantasy. But for some, this fantasy becomes a reality. Imagine what that kind of windfall could mean for you. Financial freedom, early retirement, the lifestyle you've dreamed of but thought was out of reach. There's an entire world of collectors out there willing to pay top dollar for coins like the 1970 Lincoln penny with certain unique features. Why? Because these coins aren't just currency, they're pieces of American history. But there's a twist. Not every coin from 1970 with a D mint mark is valuable. Only specific variations make the cut. So, how do you know if you have one of these rare gems? We're about to dive into what makes this penny truly special. But first, let's talk about how people are cashing in on coins like these, and why the demand keeps skyrocketing. So, what exactly makes a 1970 Lincoln cent so valuable? It all boils down to what experts call errors, unique characteristics that make a coin one of a kind. In the world of coin collecting, these imperfections are actually rare treasures. The 1970 penny you're looking for has a very specific double die error on the obverse side, which causes the letters to appear double. This minting mistake is incredibly rare, and because of that, collectors are willing to pay enormous sums for a chance to own it. But here's where it gets interesting. Not all errors are created equal. Some are barely noticeable, while others are dramatic. The bolder the error, the higher the coin's value. Imagine the thrill of realizing that one small detail could be the difference between a regular penny and $1 million treasure. Now, if you're thinking, wait, I've never even noticed these errors. Don't worry. Most people don't. That's part of the mystery and excitement. In fact, only the most keen-eyed collectors or those with a little guidance know what to look for. Timing is everything. In today's market, rare coins like this 1970 penny are fetching top prices, and demand is at an all-time high. More collectors are entering the scene, pushing up prices. What's driving this demand? It's a mix of nostalgia, historical interest, and yes, even investment. Coins have become one of the few collectibles that consistently appreciate in value over time. Think about it. What if holding on to that old penny could be your ticket to a wealthier future? The opportunity is real, but the market moves fast. Right now, these valuable coins are being bought up at auction and by private collectors. The question is, will you take action before it's too late? Now, you're probably wondering, do I have a 1970 penny with that valuable error? Well, in just a moment, we'll walk you through how to identify one of these rare pennies and give you the checklist you need. Alright, here's where things get exciting. Take out that 1970 penny if you have one, and let's get to work. First, grab a magnifying glass or even use the zoom feature on your phone camera. Look carefully at the obverse side, that's the front, where Lincoln's profile is. You're looking for doubling on the letters. Pay extra attention to the words. In God we trust, and liberty. If you see any sign of doubling, you might just have a coin worth thousands, if not millions. But before you rush to sell, it's crucial to have your coin authenticated by a professional grading service. Grading confirms the coin's rarity and condition, which are key factors in determining its value. Reputable grading agencies like PCGS or NGC specialize in these high-value coins and can make sure your treasure is accurately valued. Now, if you're thinking, do I really need to pay someone to look at my penny? Let's just say, if there's a potential $1 million check waiting, it might be worth it. Once your penny is graded and authenticated, you have options for selling. You can list it at a reputable auction house, contact a private collector, or even go through online marketplaces. Each option has its benefits, but the key is to know what your coin is worth and not settle for less. Collectors are out there, eager to add unique coins like yours to their collections. Many buyers are willing to pay handsomely, especially in today's competitive market. It's all about positioning and knowing the true worth of what you hold. And here's a thought. What if that 1970 penny is just the beginning? How many other pennies could be lying around, just waiting to change your life? Imagine what one small coin could do. Imagine the financial freedom, the security, and the ability to live life on your terms. All from something as simple as a penny. You now know the signs to look for, the steps to authenticate it, and the right approach to selling it. This isn't just about a 1970 penny, it's about what it represents. The possibility of turning something ordinary into a life-changing opportunity. So, don't let another day go by without taking a closer look at the pennies you have. Who knows? The key to your dreams might just be hiding in plain sight. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe for more insights into rare coins and other hidden treasures that could transform your financial future. Share this with someone who might just have $1 million penny hiding in their pocket. And leave a comment below. Do you think you have one of these rare coins? We'd love to hear your story. An ordinary looking penny, maybe just sitting in an old drawer or hiding in a jar of coins you haven't touched in years, could be worth more than $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent, worth over $1 million. Now, before you dismiss this as just another collector's fantasy, let's dive into the fascinating story of the 1973 Lincoln cent. Could one of these rare coins be hiding in your possession? Now, why would anyone pay such a mind-boggling amount for a penny? And could you actually get that kind of money for a coin that seems, at first glance, no different from any other? By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how to check if you have one, and most importantly, what you need to do to turn it into cash. So stick around, this could be life-changing. Let's start with what makes the 1973 Lincoln cent so unique. First, the D mint mark signifies it was minted in Denver, but that alone doesn't explain the jaw-dropping value. Here's the exciting part. Certain versions of this coin possess rare errors or subtle details that make them highly desirable for collectors. It's these tiny quirks that turn an everyday penny into a $1.3 million prize. Imagine finding that one special coin, a needle in a haystack, only to realize it could change your financial future. Now I know what you're thinking, who cares about a D on a penny? But remember, people have paid millions for much stranger things, including a piece of Elvis Presley's hair. This penny? It's a lot less strange but far more valuable. So, why does the 1973 penny command such high prices? The answer lies in two key factors, scarcity and demand. You see, rare coin collectors are always on the lookout for coins that are hard to find in pristine condition. But in the case of the 1973 penny, we're talking about one with almost flawless condition or specific errors that set it apart. And yes, collectors are more than willing to pay premium prices for these. Now, here's the thing. Just because you own a 1973 penny doesn't automatically mean you're holding a fortune. But if it meets a few specific criteria, that's where things get interesting. In a moment, I'll explain exactly what you need to look for. But first, a question for you. Would you rather keep $1 million penny or cash it in? Hang on to that thought. Alright, it's time for the big reveal. What exactly do you need to look for in your 1973 penny to know if it's worth millions? First, you'll want to examine it for any doubling on the lettering or the date. Doubling happens during the minting process, and when it occurs, it creates an almost ghostly effect on the letters and numbers. This type of error makes the coin incredibly valuable. Next, check the coin's condition. Grading agencies like PCGS, the Professional Coin Grading Service, evaluate coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. For a 1973 penny to reach those million-dollar heights, it would need to be graded in near-perfect condition, typically a 65 or higher. But let's face it, the grading system can be confusing, and finding an agency you trust is key. How many pennies have you looked at in your life? Thousands? Tens of thousands? And yet, have you ever really looked at them? If you find the right penny, those few minutes of looking could be worth more than a lifetime of pocket change. Once you have a 1973 penny that meets these criteria, it's time to consider your selling options. Reputable auction houses and online marketplaces cater to serious coin collectors who understand and appreciate the value of a rare find. But be warned, this isn't a casual eBay listing. We're talking high-stakes auctions where competitive bidding could push the price into the millions. Choosing the right platform, and even the right time, to sell is crucial in getting top dollar. So now, we've come to the most thrilling part of this journey. Imagine for a second, you've found this rare penny, listed it with the right people, and the auction starts. The bids roll in, inching closer to 6 figures, then 7. That one little coin you found in a drawer or a forgotten jar could suddenly be your ticket to a completely different lifestyle. Now, ask yourself, could one of these rare coins be hiding somewhere in your home? If you're even slightly curious, it's worth pulling out that old change jar or going through your coin collection. You may just have a life-changing penny waiting to be discovered, and if you do find one, you'll be holding more than just a penny. You'll be holding a piece of history, and potentially the start of a whole new future. Imagine sifting through an old jar of pennies, maybe a box tucked away in the attic for decades. Now, picture pulling out a single copper penny worth over $1 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, today, we're diving into the incredible story of the 1977 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, the one that just might turn a lucky finder into a millionaire overnight. Pennies. We've all got them. Those little copper coins that pile up in drawers, car cup holders, and pockets. Most people think they're just, well, pennies. But some rare pennies are worth way more. And not just a few dollars more, a life-changing, millionaire status more. Today, we're talking about one particular penny that's been stirring excitement, shock, and even a bit of envy. It's the 1977 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a coin that collectors have been eyeing for decades. Why? Because this one missing detail has led to jaw-dropping valuations, up to $1.2 million, in fact. Now, before you think, come on, can a penny really be worth that much? Keep watching. By the end, you'll understand why this coin is so sought after and maybe start feeling that itch to dig out your own stash of change. But why no mint mark? Does that even matter? Oh, it matters all right. I'll explain why this little detail could mean the difference between 1 cent and $1 million. Back in the late 70s, the US Mint produced billions of pennies, literally billions. But here's the twist. Some of these 1977 pennies were released without a mint mark, making them incredibly rare. To put it in perspective, imagine 1 million people walking down a crowded street, all looking the same. But one person? They're wearing a bright gold outfit. That's what these no mint mark pennies are like in a sea of ordinary coins, extremely unique, and that's what makes them valuable. Collectors, investors, and even everyday people like you and me dream of finding rare coins, but only a few actually have this chance. And here's where the thrill sets in. If you find a 1977 penny with no mint mark, you could be holding onto a ticket worth up to $1.2 million. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, who actually checks their pennies. But hey, people thought the same thing about Bitcoin back in 2010. And look at that now. You don't want to be the person who tosses $1 million penny back into circulation, right? Let's talk about what really drives the value of this penny up into the millions. First, rarity is key. Anything that's 1 in a billion has value, and collectors want it. But it's not just rarity, it's condition too. The more pristine the penny, the more valuable it becomes. A perfectly preserved, no mint mark 1977 Lincoln penny could bring you a fortune. Think about the possibilities for just a second. $1 million. What would you do with that? A new home, an upgraded lifestyle, financial freedom, all from a penny. That's the kind of life-changing event that makes people search obsessively for rare coins like this one. And there's a bit of urgency here, too. As more collectors discover this coin's worth, the demand is going up, and prices are following suit. Every day, someone new finds out about this penny and starts searching for their million-dollar jackpot. Now, here's the big question everyone's dying to know. Where can you sell it if you actually find one? After all, knowing you have a treasure is only half the battle. Getting the payout is the real prize. There are specific marketplaces, dealers, and even auctions that specialize in rare coins, and if you've got one of these pennies, they'll be fighting for your attention. The best part? You don't have to be a coin expert or even have any connections in the coin collecting world. Professional appraisers and online valuation services make the process smooth, guiding you from discovery to sale. If you're holding on to a no-mint mark 1977 penny, you're in the driver's seat to sell it for an incredible amount. But a word of caution, don't just sell it to the first buyer. Make sure you know its true value. Work with professionals who can ensure you get every penny, pun intended, of what it's worth. Now, if you're feeling that excitement, that rush, don't ignore it. Start checking those old jars, look through family coin collections, and don't overlook even the most humble penny. You never know which one could be worth $1 million. After all, isn't it worth a little search to potentially change your life forever? What if I told you that tucked away in your change jar or hidden in your coin collection, there could be a penny worth over $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. A penny, that shiny little coin we all see and forget about. But this isn't just any penny. This is a rare, highly sought-after 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln Wheat penny, and it's currently valued at a staggering $1.4 million. Stick with me for the next few minutes as we dive into how this coin became a millionaire maker and how you could cash in on a piece of history that might be in your hands right now. Imagine this. You walk into a local coin shop or start digging through your coin collection. You've seen pennies before. They're not anything special, right? But then you find it. That one penny that catches your eye. You might not know it yet, but you're holding a treasure that can completely change your financial future. The 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln Wheat penny is not like the others. For decades, coin collectors and investors have been on the lookout for this rare coin. Why? Because in 1980, the US Mint accidentally forgot to stamp the mint mark on some pennies. These pennies were supposed to have a small D or S to indicate where they were minted, either Denver or San Francisco. But for some unknown reason, they came out without any mint mark at all. Now, you might be thinking, but I've got a ton of pennies from 1980. Could one of them be worth this much? The answer is yes, it's possible. But here's the catch. Only a small number of these no-mint mark pennies actually exist. And among them, only the ones in pristine condition, with sharp details and no signs of wear, are valued in the millions. By the way, I know what you're probably thinking. I've been hoarding pennies for years, and the only thing I've gotten out of it is a sore back and a very confused bank teller when I tried to cash them in. Don't worry, I've been there. But this is different. If you have the right penny, it could be worth more than your car. Yes, seriously, more than your car. What exactly makes this coin so special? Why is a simple mistake from the US Mint worth a fortune? First, let's talk rarity. There were only a few of these unmarked pennies made, and even fewer were kept in mint condition. As you know, most pennies from the 1980s have been worn down by years of use, making them far less valuable. But the 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln Wheat penny is an anomaly. This coin represents a perfect storm of rare circumstances. The missing mint mark makes it stand out from the crowd of regular pennies. And because so few were ever in circulation and even fewer remain in top condition, the value skyrocketed. Now, you might be asking, how do I know if I've got one of these rare pennies? Well, there are a few things you need to look for. First, check the date on your coin. It should be 1980. Then, inspect the reverse side of the penny where the mint mark would normally appear. If it's blank, you've got the golden ticket. But don't get too excited just yet. It's not enough to just have a 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln Wheat penny. You'll need to confirm its authenticity and its condition. Most of these coins that are floating around out there are far from perfect. They've been tarnished, scratched, or worn down to the point where they're only worth a few cents. If you want to see how high the value can go, you'll need to find one in near perfect or mint condition. Stay with me, because in just a moment, I'm going to show you exactly how much this penny could fetch on the market if you happen to have one that's in excellent shape. You won't believe the numbers. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the market value. When it comes to coins like this, the value can fluctuate, but one thing's for sure, the demand is through the roof. There's a strong community of collectors and investors who are actively seeking out this rare penny, and the right auction could see your coin fetch over $1 million. In 2019, a 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny in near-perfect condition sold for $1.4 million at an auction. That's a life-changing sum of money for a single penny. You could pay off your mortgage, buy a new car, or invest in your future with that kind of cash. Here's where it gets even more interesting. The market for rare coins is only growing. If you're lucky enough to have a coin like this, it could be one of the few left that hasn't been discovered yet. That means there could be a rush of buyers just waiting for you to put it up for sale. But there's an urgency here. These kinds of opportunities don't come around every day. The longer you wait, the more chances there are for other collectors or investors to scoop up the best examples. So, if you think you've got a 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny in your collection, now's the time to act. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. What's next? Am I going to find $1 million penny on a breakfast cereal box? Probably not. But if you think this coin is just the beginning, you're absolutely right. The world of rare coins is full of hidden treasures. And who knows what else might be sitting in your pocket change right now. If you think you've got one of these rare pennies, it's time to take action. Get it authenticated, get it appraised, and start looking for the right buyer. Don't wait until the market goes up even more. You've got a golden opportunity, but it won't last forever. I've seen people cash in on rare coins and change their lives. And you can too. Imagine what it would feel like to finally be able to say, "I've sold my penny, and I'm now living the lifestyle I've always dreamed of." So check your pennies, make sure they're in great condition, and don't let the opportunity slip away. And don't forget, if you want more tips on finding rare coins, and how you could be sitting on a fortune, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what we have coming next. Because who knows? The next coin I talk about might be worth even more than this one. And remember, if you've got one of these 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat pennies, you're holding on to something that could change your life. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video, where we dive into more rare coins that could make you rich.